It's news time. Information is power. Be current. The news headline. What Buhari may not tolerate from Igbos as Nnamdi Kanu'S court trial approaches. The leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, is expected to witness his court trial session on October 24, 2021. The report has it that the court trial will be held on Thursday, the 21st of October 2021. It is important to know that Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed Biafra group IPOB, has been in detention since he was arrested in Kenya and traveled down to Nigeria some weeks ago to face treason trial. Kanu and 3 associate defendants are accused of treason with other charges by the federal government of Nigeria, although the IPOB leader was granted by the court of law in April. However, it was said that he is yet to gain freedom. The government is yet to guarantee the freedom of Kanu after proscribing the Biafran group as a terrorist organization. As Nnamdi Kanu's trial draw closer, here is what the president, Muhammadu Buhari, may not take from Igbos. And the president may actually, he has stated that the security of the country is non-negotiable. As such, he will not tolerate any form of violence or protest while the court grants Nnamdi Kanu his legal trial. We remember vividly that in June, before Kanu's trial was shifted to 21st of October 2021, they had planned to storm and stage protests in Abuja. Buhari may not entertain such in the coming 21st of October 2021's court trial, and the court ought to be held in a civilized environment. It is better for anyone willing to incite violence to opt for calmness, or the Igbos should go ahead with their planned sit-at-home order they scheduled for Thursday instead of storming the court to stage a protest and as a result that may actually result to violence. Conclusively, his associates, supporters, and the Igbos should be on the same page with the government for a better Nigeria, for justice to prevail in Kanu's case. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria also challenged the president to incite concrete, genuine, and deep national reconciliation and dialogue, and check the rising ethno-religious vendetta and diatribes being stoked by Garba Shehu and other ethno-religious warlords embedded in his government. In a statement signed by the national coordinator, Comrade Emmanuel Omubiko, Uriwa carpeted the nation's political class for their alleged collective and classical lack of leadership acumen and capacity to manage the country's diversity. The experience of Nigerians since 2015 has been piercing. Before then, Nigeria was the 3rd fastest growing economy in the world, next to China and India, with a growth rate of close to 7%, but the economy contracted immediately after swearing in of President Buhari, who took more than 6 months to constitute his cabinet. And sadly, the cabinet ministers are mostly opportunistic, cash-guzzling politicians with zero commitment to Nigeria's national economic revolution and advancement. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria actually said that Nigeria has continued to meander the path befitting failed, weak, and juvenile states, a state that had very great prospects. They averred that it was disturbing to note that while Nigeria is the 3rd most terrorized country in the world, next to Afghanistan and Iraq, the Buhari-led government actions are centered on cows in such a way that cows are more secure in Nigeria than Nigerians, just as the others are armed to the teeth to the knowledge of government authorities. Also, the Human Rights Writers Association revealed that Nigeria's public debt stock, which has reached $84 billion, with debt service costs gulping about 80% of entire government revenue. Nigeria's external debt increased by 107.4% from $12.6 billion in 2015 to $27.4 billion by the end of 2019. Furthermore, the rights group expressed worries that between March and June 2020, a total of $10.26 billion new debt was approved by the National Assembly, while other approvals for more loans were also given this 2021. Of the 4 administrations who have led Nigeria since our return to democracy in 1999, the current administration holds the worst records in terms of economic growth. Olusegun Obasanjo regime from 1999 to 2007 has had an average growth of 6.9%. His immediate successor, Umaru Yar'Adua, did even better in his 2 years with an average growth rate of 7.6%, while Goodluck Jonathan delivered 5% growth rate in his 6-year term as president that ended in 2015. The group added. Relatedly, Human Rights Writers Association also used the occasion of the 61st independence celebration of Nigeria to call for cessation of conflicts and attacks in the southeast of Nigeria so dialogue can be embraced. The Human Rights Writers Association further called on indigenous people of Biafra to strictly enforce the suspension of the Monday sit-at-home order, as well as the United Nations for intervention and the release of Kanu. And these were the words of the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, that the Independence Day celebration was just a charade and that the Buhari-led administration needs to release Nnamdi Kanu, where they say that the country is actually failed already, and the ineptitude, incompetence, and insensitive high-handedness, and also the nepotism by the Buhari-led administration of the country has led us all into disaster and woes. The group also said that that good governance has actually been abandoned, and that Nigerians are now suffering from conflict and terrorism in the country, saying that President Muhammadu Buhari is actually falling into this kind of mess because of the kind of people he surrounded himself with, such as Garba Shehu, who is the presidential aide, and also that all the other people who are just not telling President Muhammadu Buhari the truth just because of their selfish and pedestrian interests. The Human Rights Writers Association also challenged President Muhammadu Buhari to initiate concrete, genuine, and deep national reconciliation and dialogue, and not to go after people that are clamoring for their right to self-determination. In a statement signed by National Coordinator Comrade Emmanuel Onwubiko, Human Rights Writers Association carpeted the nation's political class for their alleged collective and classical lack of leadership acumen. The experience of Nigerians since 2015 has actually been impressive. And before then, Nigeria was the 3rd fastest growing economy in the world, next to China and India, with a growth rate of close to 7%, but the economy contracted immediately after swearing in of President Muhammadu Buhari took more than 6 months to constitute his cabinet. Therefore, the human rights writers of Nigeria had actually said that the state of Nigeria now is disturbing because it is now the 3rd most terrorized country in the world, next to Afghanistan and Iraq, and that the only thing that the Buhari-led administration is doing is centered on cows, and that Nigerians, just as others, are armed to the teeth to the knowledge of the government authorities, and that the past government had actually recorded a good growth in the economy than the present President Muhammadu Buhari's regime, saying that there is need for the indigenous people of IPOB to continue with the agitations to secure the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Thanks for listening.